Alrighty, guys. So, welcome to Big 12 Expansion to add four ACC teams now of episode 5 of our series Conference Realignment. Brought to you by UK Wildcat Sports Channel, of course, and you'll be joined by Hagen, of course. So, let's get into it. So, here's our map. Always I do is show what the Power 4 conference map is right now. As you can see, SEC still maintains a big base in the south, Big 10 in the north, Big 12 out in the Midwest, where we're going to call that. Otherwise, an AC out off the Atlantic Coast or Pacific now. The map's really changed a lot from last year. So, anyways, the ACC at 18 teams and a hashtag, like I said last video, is because of Notre Dame, because they're affiliated member. Because you gotta remember in conference realignment, this applies to all sports too. So, like if Notre Dame is to join a conference, like for football per se, it's going to count for basketball and that stuff too. So that's one thing you got to take into consideration too. So let's begin. So now rumors are that there were talks with Miami and Louisville now. Now I don't think not sure these are true or not. I don't find much sources when I search the web, but there are some. And what's funny is that one of my, I think it was episode 3 of Conference Realignment, I had mentioned that Louisville would possibly join the Big 12. So that doesn't shock me though. It wouldn't shock me if that is true. So here we go. So yeah, obviously those Clemson, Louisville, Florida State, and Miami are now rumored to possibly be leaving to the Big 12. These would be great moves for these schools too. So if this is to happen, now here's the Big 12 right now, including Arizona State, Arizona, BYU, Utah, Colorado, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, TCU, Baylor, Houston, Iowa State, Cincinnati, West Virginia, UCF. Now, its main presence can be seen now as it is out west in Texas region, in the Four Corner states, and some sprinkled throughout the East Coast. But now, what this would do, though, with the expansion of these teams, okay, bring a lot more of a market out into the East Coast, into a different time zone, which would really help out with TV viewership now. Adding Louisville in, let's look at the pros adding Louisville in. So Louisville, they've had in the last few years, their basketball program's not been good. It's been kind of horrible. Football program's decent. You bring a Kentucky viewership market there. Clemson, do I need to even speak? Or Florida State Florida State and Miami are in Florida, so great recruiting there. And Clemson's been off, So they bring a lot of stuff to the market. As for the SEC, or Big Ten, they wouldn't. There's no reason to add Clemson or Florida State. They just don't bring much to them. As SEC has a base in Florida and doesn't. So this would be great for the Big 12. So they have now their Florida State and Clemson, their football, or Miami, their traditional football powerhouses. Because I would say right now the Big 12, that's one thing it lacks is its traditional powerhouses right now. So after this, I don't know why Notre Dame's okay. Yeah. So after this, the ACC would be left to 14 teams. Now, I think this is when Notre Dame. My last video, I said Notre Dame would not leave, but now new information that if Louisville and Miami left, then I think Notre Dame's out. Because Miami's that only other kind of football program there. So I think Notre Dame is out. I think the Big Ten will grab Notre Dame and North Carolina. Reason is North Carolina would be a great school to fit into the Big Ten. And then Notre Dame, self-explanatory. So the Big Ten would expand to be the Big 20. If they are the Big 20, I seriously think they should change their name. Like really, if you're the Big 20, then at that point, change your name. But anyways, getting sidetracked. So now the ACC's down 12 teams. Now, my last video, I had said that the ACC wouldn't collapse, but they still won't. But I think this is when the bombs dropped here at that point. If you're down to 12 teams with your main teams now left, okay. So now all of a sudden, but real quick though, as you might know right now, that there's a possible move that the Mountain West or Pac-2 is going to take teams from the Mountain West. Those teams shown on the map: Boise State, Colorado State, Air Force, UNLV, Fresno State, San Diego State. So, as I said, you can watch the last video. And the Mountain West go down to 6 teams. So I think they would add New Mexico State, Utah, add that into 14 teams. Then they add some FCS teams. It's all good. Conference USA is down to 10 teams. So now after this, I see Conference USA is adding some more FCS teams, including Eastern Kentucky and Youngstown State, and get them up to 12 teams again. So back to the ACC. So a little just showing what's happening. So back to the ACC, like I said. So what's going to happen now? Well, Virginia Tech, Virginia, Duke, North Carolina State, they go to the SEC. The SEC is going to want to add them in. So let's look at the perks. Virginia Tech, not bad football program, and just Virginia, just in a new market. Duke, North Carolina State. Duke would be really good for basketball too. A good rival for Kentucky. North Carolina State. Just it would make sense adding them. And you're like, why would they not add Clemson or Florida State? Why aren't they better? Because there's no need to add them in. Because you already have a team in South Carolina and Florida. There's just no need. And they just those schools make more sense if the SEC is looking to expand its market. So we're down to 8 teams. The remaining, so I can see California and Stanford leaving back to the Pac-12. Now, one comment from my last video said that Stanford's too arrogant now in their academics, all that. Now, I would agree with that, but there is also a fine line between when your conferences collapse like this in this scenario, and also where you don't get enough money. So I would like to beg the differ that they would most likely go back to the Pac-12 in this scenario here. So they're not going to want to stay around for the teams that are going to come into the ACC. Send your Pac-10. I think this is what they have envisioned why they're going to 8 teams for Pac-12. So they'll just add teams. Now, could there be teams from the ACC going to the Pac-12 that could happen? I don't at the moment see that happening yet. I mean, because it's the same amount of teams. Yeah, it's the same amount of teams of regular Power Fours, not more actually. But let's see. ACC immediate candidates to be added in would be Tulane, Memphis, Temple, and USF. Let's get up to 10 teams. Some more teams. If they could land Army and Navy, great. That'd be great because that'd be the rivalry there. So then 12, and then they add Liberty, East Carolina, Appalachian State, and UAB to get to 16 teams. So that would be the ACC's attempt like a rebuild. Obviously, conference is nowhere near the power it used to be now. Conference USA now after the move, 11 teams. American Athletic Conference would obviously be wrecked by this. Sorry for having Louisiana highlighted there. Looks like I didn't fix that. My bad, guys. But so yeah, American Athletic Conference would be absolutely wrecked. So I can see them adding then Western Kentucky, Marshall. Now there's obviously some more teams they're gonna add. But we'll get into that next video. I know I said the next video I get an American Athletic Conference, but just I need to dig in a little bit more research into that. But just like, who would they add? Would they just pull teams? Because if you're in the Sun Belt right now, I know I had Marshall leave. Do you want to leave for American Athletic Conference? Looking at it's only at 18 to where Sun Belt, who's pretty regionally powerful now. Yeah, I don't know. In Conference USA though, I think some teams would make the jump. So look at our team amount right now. As you can see, we got the Power 3 now. ACC, you're not going to include the Power 3 all at 20 teams now. A combined 16 teams, or 60 teams. That's crazy. Wow. So the SEC, Big 10, or Big 20, you can call it, and the Big 12, well, Big 12, 22, there's 2 Big 20s. We got the ACC at 16 teams, Mountain West at 14, Sun Belt at 13, Pac-10 at Pac-12 at 10, and Conference USA at 10, American Athletic Conference at 8. So obviously you can see in this world, it's the Power 3 now. So this is my thoughts now. If Louisville, Miami, Clemson, Florida State are to leave, I would create a domino effect, changing the college football world as we know it. Or maybe it doesn't. Maybe I could be all wrong about this. Let me know about your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you do like this kind of content, please remember to like and subscribe. And bye.